Good morning. It's Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we're about to take a look at the divine masculine and divine feminine energy inside of ourselves. But we're going to do a wild card reading today. So we're going to do a different spread, and we're not going to use, um, we're still using 4 decks for headspace and heart space of masculine and feminine. And we're going to use some oracles, but it's just going to be actually just a little bit different in how I do the reading today for this new wild card thing where we just change up the energy, which is kind of nice for me. So we're basically going to read everybody all together in the different positions. So it's not going to be like you first and you first. It's just going to be all 4 of the cards representing the head and heart space of both divine masculine and divine feminine in 8 different positions. The first position that we're going to look at is the biggest fear or distraction right now for the both of y'all. But before we get started on the actual spread, I am going to just stick to the top and the bottom of the deck just to get a general sense of the energy today before we dive into these different positions to take a look at them. We'll start with divine feminine. Overall headspace forefront of her mind is the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So we have a divine feminine working on issues of letting go. This has been in her mind, kind of releasing attachment to material and to the material and trying not to be so attached to outcomes. But there's also a sense here that she might be thinking a lot about finances, and there might be like a desire to there could be concerns or worries about of like affordability and housing and um, something about like the home and maybe feeling a little bit stable, wanting to leave the current place that you're into and wanting to move away, wanting to let go of the place where you've been. Maybe that's another thing. If there's this transition happening, it's like you're letting go of your attachment to the place that you've been, the past that you've been, to move on to this next phase. So that's the overall forefront of divine feminine mind. And the back of the mind, we are seeing what looks like her having made a decision. We've got this 2 of Pentacles in reverse. So there could be some that have chosen to let go of this. I'm hot. Okay. That could have chosen to let go of a specific environment, workplace, person, um, home, residence, location, but there's some decision that has been made to let go of something and leave it behind. And it was a decision that came from an imbalance. You were putting some more in than you were getting out. And so there's been this decision to just kind of like leave this particular thing behind at this time and just not be attached to it or what's coming. That's her headspace. Her heart space, I just realized this. Her heart space is in complete union with divine masculine heart space. We'll just go ahead. There they are, both of them. Her heart space is thinking feeling this energy of this King of Swords. So she's feeling in her integrity. She's feeling the ability to communicate clearly. What's really interesting is that the spread I decided to do today is a spread for clarity and direction. And I got it from incandescenttarot.com is where I found the spread. And I really like this. I'm probably going to use it more often. But so she's in her heart, she's feeling like she has clarity, or she's gaining clarity. She's feeling, this card says authority too. Like she feels this, she feels her own authority right now. Like she's able to sort of to say what she needs and make those demands and see those things happen for her. She's become her own authority. If she's had issues with authority figures in the past, it's like she's learned how to navigate those maybe control issues, or however you want to look at that. um, we also, if there's a a connection here, if this is about like the divine masculine specific iteration connection that we're looking at, she's seeing him in his integrity right now. She's feeling him in his integrity. She's also feeling he's not, he's pretty icy and aloof. When he does communicate, she knows that it's going to be clear and direct, but he may not be communicating at this time. Might be just sort of icy and aloof kind of a feeling. And she might be maintaining that same stoicism because she's made this decision and she's just kind of like taken her authority, taken her power back. And so she might also be a little bit on the icy side, or just maybe not as warm. Like maybe she's busy and like working, and just so she's just not quite as warm as she was. And maybe the divine masculine energy is mirroring her in this. I mean, not maybe, it is. So that's where she's is in her heart space. The niggling feeling for her, I can't believe this. It's the Queen of Pentacles with the nurture written on the bottom of the card, because we're using the field tarot for the heart space for divine feminine, and we're using the fountain tarot for the head space. That's the other deck that I was using. So divine feminine's niggling feeling in her heart space has to do with her Queen of Pentacles energy. So she might be feeling a bit overbearing. She might be feeling a bit like she was be doing too much nurturing of this particular King of Swords. She's thinking that it's, she's actually feeling that it might be her overbearing, overprotective nature that has put him into this sort of defensive stoicism. Somebody's not happy outside. So she's feeling sort of this responsibility for having put herself into a position where she is experiencing this aloofness. Like it was her own kind of energy that maybe caused this to happen. She's wanting to release those traits so that she can be in a much more like a healthy, nurturing, abundant, fertile, creative kind of state. There's also a feeling here that this King of Swords in her life is maybe lacking some creativity in his approach. He's sort of just, maybe just stepped back, become very aloof. And while he may be in his integrity, he's just not being very creative with moving towards her, coming towards her. And she wants to see more, um, she wants to see something new happen. I'm also struck by this, the pregnancy that's in this card. The That might have relevance for some. It keeps coming up in the readings. And I'm gonna go ahead and show divine masculine heart space, and we'll show his headspace after, just because of the crazy union. We already saw that his heart space is exactly in union with divine feminine, and it's his version of this. He wants to be in his integrity. He wants to be speaking clearly. He has had to have some stoicism to be able to have this authority and take control of the situation, etc. They literally are in complete union. They are also in union in the niggling feeling, because the niggling feeling for divine masculine is the Empress, which is the major arcana version of the Queen of Pentacles. Divine feminine's feeling a lack. She's feeling like she's not quite presenting in the light traits of this Queen of Pentacles, which is the foundation of the Empress. She's feeling that she's being a little bit too overbearing, and that's maybe what put divine masculine into this icy, aloof energy. And he's looking at her as the full embodiment, as the fulfillment of all four queens, wife material. He's also got this creativity and abundance and fertility within him right now to be able to be creative, to approach her. So there's such a lovely union there in their hearts right now. Complete, almost complete union. The top of the deck, though, for the headspace of divine masculine, and I guess we're kind of going backwards, but it's just the way the cards fell sort of lend themselves to that. But the top of the deck for divine masculine is the Ace of Swords in reverse, which is what? It's a lack of clarity. So I just think this is so funny that I woke up today, and I woke up very early this morning, like at 3:30, and was like, no, okay, I need to go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and then I woke up again at like 5:30, and I went to bed at midnight. So I was like, can I just sleep a little more? So I like squeezed my eyes shut and somehow got 3 hours out of that. But in the interim, in the parts of the night where I woke up, I kept thinking about what wild card reading I was going to do today. And I really didn't know. And I had like a couple of like not great ideas basically. And then all of a sudden, I think the third time that I woke up, or the fourth time, I don't know, whatever. But I was like, oh, you know what? I want to do a reading for the collective today on clarity about why we're in the situation we're in and what we can really do about it. And instead of just looking at our own headspace and heart space every day, and I want to like actually just have a little bit more clarity and a little more direction, because there's something I'm missing, or else I wouldn't be kind of in this position where we're cycling through the same energy over and over and over, day after day after day. So divine masculine, his overall forefront of his mind is a desire for that same clarity and direction. It's a desire for him to be able to give this clarity to himself, to the divine feminine in consequence, because he'll have that himself. And the niggling feeling I really can't make up is the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So it's him holding on to these offers that he has and really asking himself, why the fuck do I do this? Why do I fucking do this? I don't understand. And it's not in divine feminine. Don't get mad, because it's genuine. He's not being an asshole. He's not like, oh, I don't know why I do this. And he really knows. He doesn't know, because there is a divine timing element that is at work, and everything must line up. So he's really like, why? He has as much he has as much confusion about his choices as you do in this regard. He doesn't know why he's not offering these um this these things outside of the things which he now realizes are his own construction of third party energy blockages, etc., but what come from something from within, which is why it's so lovely to see his heart space willing to pick up the sword, right? And instead of holding on to it, actually wield it and bring clarity and bring direction to his Empress so that he can give this offer to her. So that's kind of a lovely headspace for the divine masculine to be in, really. And maybe this reading will help. One can only hope. All right, let's take a look. Now we're going to the first position. This divine masculine and divine feminine constitutes your biggest fears and or distractions at the moment. We'll start with divine feminine. And divine feminine, you are having Princess of Cups energy or Page of Cups energy and the Magician. Divine masculine, you're getting the Devil. And the Queen of Wands. Okay. Divine feminine, your biggest fear right now has to do with manifesting your dreams. You're afraid that you're not going to be able to do what you want to do. This hits me so hard because yesterday, while I was working very hard all day, I had a conversation with one of my friends where I took my master plan for my record and explained to them how impossible it is going to be to do in the timing that I want to do it. And I cried. And my friends, I mean, obviously I'm an emotional person and I cry, but when I cry, it makes my friends very uncomfortable because I'm usually like this, because I really am like that usually. And then when I cry, I'm also just as dramatic. So a lot of times it's kind of a difficult position to be in because I have to be happy all the time. If I'm not, people are like, what's wrong? But I was reassuring her. I was like, I'm crying, but I'm not sad. I'm really happy that I have this whole project, and I'm happy that I have this whole vision, and I'm happy that I've got all these pieces coming together. But I am telling you right now, I am terrified that it's not going to be what I want it to be. I don't want to release this into a void. My emotions coming up right as I think about it. This is my biggest fear. I don't want to release this into a void and have it go unheard. So the biggest fear of distraction for divine feminine, look at that. Like that's huge fear. Because that's not sadness. That's terror. Like I'm like, no, that can't happen. I've worked too hard to lose it, right? So she's really afraid. And that fear is a big distraction for her because it causes her to shift her focus away from creating the thing, and it makes her focus on, first of all, she distracts herself with other things so that she doesn't have to face that fear. And um she because of the fear, it distracts her from being able to do her best work when she's doing it, because she's kind of second guessing. Like if you were thinking about this in terms of my record, I'll be thinking I'll be making what is beautiful and cool to me, and then I'll sit back from it and be like, okay, is this gonna is this gonna hit? Like, are people gonna get this? Are people gonna understand it? And she can get distracted by that, by the fear that this manifestation that she wants not working out, because maybe she's not doing the right thing. And so she'll get kind of lost in the second guessing and then stall out, maybe not pursue something that was actually a really good idea. So that's where divine feminine is in her fear and distraction. Masculine. You're very distracted by the divine feminine herself and your sexual energy in regards to her. This is a huge fear and distraction for you. So divine masculine is having performance anxiety, like that kind. He's also worried and afraid of needing this divine feminine so much. So he's afraid of like being vulnerable, in other words. He's afraid of being naked, and he's afraid of being emotionally naked as well, and needing this divine feminine. And it's his biggest fear, and it's his biggest distraction, because he's afraid of it. And then he's looking at her and looking at her and looking at her and looking at her and looking at her, obsessed with her, obsessed with her, obsessed with her, obsessed with her. Good morning, Lena. So he's like, Gah. It's his biggest fear, and it's his biggest anxiety, and he feeds it all day. This is crazy. I'm so glad I did this spread. It's so great. All right. Divine feminine. Let's now look at the next position, where to focus instead. See, we're getting clarity. We're getting direction. This isn't a reading that's like, this is what I'm thinking. And then we're just like, okay, well, hopefully you'll get better at that. This is where you are, bitch. This is where you need to go. If you don't take this advice, I can't fucking do anything for you. Okay. So we're getting in this position for the divine feminine. We're getting work, baby, the Three of Pentacles. We're getting 10 of Wands in reverse. For divine masculine, we're getting the Four of Wands in reverse, and we're getting the 10 of Swords in reverse. So here is where you need to focus instead. Divine feminine, instead of focusing on your fear that you're not going to be able to manifest what it is that you desire, you need to work and delegate tasks. Okay? This is so clear to me. This is a resistance to putting down burdens. It's a resistance to putting down burdens. So there's two meanings here. Don't give up. Do not give up. Focus on how you're not going to give up. Am I going to give up? I don't know how long you've been watching me as a reader. And some of you are my friends for many years, but you know me, and I do not give up. I just don't. I just do not. It's annoying sometimes, but it's gotten me here. And you know what? I'm at the top. I'm in the top percentage of musicians. I might not be making the money. You might not see me on television right now, but I'm telling you, in terms of my expertise in songwriting, I'm going to be a full ass Leo right now and tell you, bitch, I own it. Okay. I work fucking hard. I made myself the best that I could possibly be. Right. I don't have a resistance to hard work. My resistance is to experiencing the success from it, but also that. So divine feminine, you've taken on all these responsibilities, and instead you need to focus on, first of all, not giving up, because you know you won't, and delegating. Don't resist this. I am absolutely correct. There is no way in hell I can accomplish that record in the amount of time I want to accomplish it in by myself. Not going to happen. It won't. And I need to be honest with myself about that. You need to delegate your tasks. If this is a thing that you're trying to manifest, it's a spiritual thing and not like a work based thing, although usually all of those things are connected in our lives, then what you're really wanting to do in this case is you are wanting to unburden yourself and communicate in some way. You've had having this resistance. So you want to work on your ability to communicate, to be open, to be able to not be afraid that you're going to burden somebody with your feelings. That the person that you love and want in your life welcomes all of you, all of your feelings, your fears, your worries, your anxieties. So that's the other thing too. You need to put down the fears. You need to just put it down. How do you put it down? Well, we know that if we try to stop thinking about a purple elephant, we're not going to be able to do that because we have to think about that in order to stop thinking about it. So we're going to put it down by distracting ourselves with work right now. We're going to distract ourselves with work, and we're going to make sure that we are delegating our tasks and our responsibilities in this work so that we can do our best work. So don't take on too much of a burden, but just focus on the work itself, the thing that you're creating itself, not whether or not it's going to happen. Just that very beautiful thing, divine feminine. Divine masculine, you're afraid of the codependencies, you're afraid of vulnerability, you're distracted by your queen, watching her, obsessed with her, right? But not communicating with her because of your fears, your performance anxiety, and your worries about codependency. You must distract yourself. This is really interesting. You must distract yourself from these fears and from the obsession of the divine feminine by working on the commitment issues, which are the only thing that's really blocking you from divine feminine. You're afraid of needing her because you're afraid of committing to someone and having them commit to you. And you have to work on your fears about being pinned down or stuck through commitment issues. So you must focus on this. Right now, instead of focusing obsessively on divine feminine, your sexual energy towards her, your worries about whether that's going to be good enough, your fears about how much you're going to need her, you have to heal these wounds that weren't healed from this former sacred union that you had. So that's focus on this. And then this is you yourself. You must focus on ending the separation. You must focus on ending the painful separation between the two of you. Healing the wounds from the last one will help you to end this current one. All right. The next position is past experience to let go. Oh my God. Okay. Divine feminine, you are getting the Princess of Wands, exploration, the Knight of Wands. Divine masculine, you are getting Queen of Cups and the Devil in reverse. So this is the past experience that you must let go. Divine feminine, you along your journey, as you're exploring in your youth and your excitement to head out into the world. And I literally I'm going to grab my notebook because last night I had, I'm a fan of Patreon, and I support a lot of my friends on there, and they support me. And it's weird. It's like no money actually leaves our bank accounts. It just cycles around like these friends of mine and I'm benefiting from them because I'm getting all of these getting sound baths and goals and dream planning activities. And it's really cool. If you don't use the Patreon, it's out of the social media choices, it's really a good feeling one. That's the only thing I can really say about it. It feels good. And there's a lot of really great content. It's good content and it's not motivated by an algorithm. So you're just able to see the content that you subscribe to. It comes to you, right to you, without you having to save it or like it or whatever. And it's just because you're supporting really incredible artists that you admire. It's incredible. I'm getting like poems in the mail. It's amazing. So we have um divine feminine in this page of wands energy, and I just wrote this down last night. The page of wands embodies attraction, beginnings, messages, optimism, freedom, focus, ambition, and burgeoning sexuality. Okay, and that's the one I'm honing in on. The shadow of it is suppressed energy, lethargy, inertia, mania, and procrastination. So, burgeoning sexual energy and the Knight of Wands. Okay. So, for me, there is a past experience involving a specific iteration of divine masculine energy, most likely a sexual experience or a sexual trauma. There could be here. It could also just be like that when you were youthful and you started exploring relationships, you ended up in this pretty bad one. It could also be that since you were young, you have wanted to be with this specific divine masculine that you're considering to be a twin flame. That could be, um, there are those here that follow that modality, and it could be that. You're having to let this youthful version of this relationship go. The version of divine masculine that behaved in such a way, and the version of you that accepted that kind of treatment. This is what you must let go. Divine masculine. There's that devil card again. We already got it right off the bat from your heart space as your fear or distraction right now. So this is a real issue for you. It's something that you need to let go, and it is your fear of this divine feminine. You had an experience with the divine feminine that you want to be with. This same energy from this Queen of Wands. There's something that happened. It could just be that you wanted to be with her and it was obsessive and codependent, like we're looking at your fears. And there could also be that this Queen of Cups engaged in third party energy or third party sexual energy, and there was some kind of issue for you in regards to that. It could be about jealousy, it could be about codependency. Your fear of codependency is what you must let go, right? This fear that you're going to be bound or chained to this woman that you love and unable to be in the light with her. So that's the past experience. You had some past experience with her or with another Queen of Cups that is making you afraid. Maybe you had a past Queen of Cups who cheated or who, betrayed you or whatever. And that's what you have to work to let go. And I mean, that's what you're supposed to focus on. So it seems clear that there is just this third party energy, past energy that was part of your life, and you just have to really let it go. Now we're going to take a look at a useful past experience that we can use to help us move forward. Divine Feminine, you're getting Judgment in reverse, King of Cups in reverse, Divine Masculine, Page or Prince of Pentacles in reverse, which is like Knight of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So, Divine Feminine, you have had a rather useful experience here with a King of Cups in reverse. So, we're looking at Judgment in reverse, which is Judgment is about absolution, reconciliation, awakening. It's about being awakened. It's about harsh judgment, harsh criticism. It can be when it's in its reversal. That shadow can be like you're really judging yourself or you're not wanting to judge yourself harshly. And then we have this King of Cups who's in his reversal, which means we have a King of Cups that is overly expressive, very, very expressing a lot of emotion, maybe not great at controlling emotion. this could be a very jealous king. If of all the kings in the deck, this one's going to be very jealous. Be very jealous. Because of the jealousy, there could be controlling issues that go on, although it's less common from the King of Cups. If it was the King of Pentacles or the Emperor, I might see more controlling issues, but this is really more of a person who maybe was very emotionally manipulative, okay? And this has been an extremely useful experience. This also could be your current divine masculine being in the shadow of the King of Cups and not speaking to you at all, because the shadow of the king is that he is absolutely silent. He maintains silence in order not to cause panic. So this could be about the awakening process that is happening in regards to the divine masculine energy. But there's some part of you that was unawakened and or experienced unawakened harsh criticism from a manipulative, emotionally manipulative King of Cups. But something in your past, this has prepared you. This woke you up. This maybe it showed you who your true King of Cups is, but there's some aspect of this past experience involving this king that being unawakened or you awakening to him that has been a very useful experience. For divine masculine, this Knight of Pentacles energy in reverse and the Six of Pentacles is really interesting. What it's showing me is that your failure to move quickly to reciprocate has been a very useful experience for you. It has given you the time that you have needed to heal. It has helped divine feminine. And look at this. Her most useful experience is having an unawakened divine masculine energy that was refusing to speak, right? And your useful past experience was moving towards this divine feminine extremely slowly and not reciprocating at the same level. So for her, this was incredibly useful. And for you, it was as well, because it allowed you to experience an awakening, which happened in divine feminine too, because you're mirroring each other. So you both experienced an awakening from this process as you slowly and steadily made your way towards this reciprocation. So divine masculine, if you've been beating yourself up about how long you've taken or anything like that, or maybe you're beating yourself up for having moved too fast, there's also that potential reading here. If the Knight of Pentacles is in reverse, you could be moving very fast. So maybe your experience that was useful was that you moved too quickly to try to reciprocate without being able to. And you beat yourself up about that, and you need to let that go because it's actually a useful thing that you did. There's that interpretation too. All right, the next position is what to cultivate. Divine feminine, generosity and reciprocity here from the Six of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, divine masculine, the Four of Cups, and the Hierophant. So here is what to cultivate. Divine feminine, how can you cultivate reciprocity? Well, you begin by your own generosity, by being willing to give first and not withhold. So you have to relinquish any withholding energy that you might have. You also must give to yourself, right? You must cultivate the ability to reciprocate with yourself, and you must open up your heart to receive. So when you give, you must also be open to receive. You want to cultivate reciprocity with divine masculine energy and Knight of Cups. So we're going to show you what the next step is, but this is what you're going to cultivate. Reciprocity with an expressive Knight of Cups who's able to navigate his emotions. and you have an openness to receive. Divine Masculine, you need to cultivate, first of all, this grounding of this spiritual energy, this meditation and contemplation that you've been in. You must now begin to ground the spiritual connection, because you are cultivating a new marriage, a new sacred union. With that relinquishing of the old one, you will end a separation with divine feminine and be able to come into union. So you must cultivate the grounding of the union. And the next steps for you and divine feminine are divine feminine, you are getting, wow, the Empress in reverse, the Nine of Cups. And divine masculine, you are getting the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Swords in reverse. So divine feminine, we're getting another duplicate card. We already saw the Empress in divine masculine's heart space, and here it is again. It's in its reverse because you want to know what's different about the Empress when she's in reverse? She's not sitting there. She's moving. She's getting up. She's not rigid. She's getting up and she's moving, right? So your next step is to move towards your wish fulfillment. The Empress is also creative. She's abundant. So you need to shift into this powerful, stable energy. And this Nine of Cups is about greediness or hoarding your emotions. So for you to be needing to cultivate reciprocity, that means you need to be extremely generous with your emotions and feelings. So you need to be very open in that own Knight of Cups energy that we already saw. We're also seeing you needing to release any need to control this divine masculine or the outcome of the wish fulfillment. And those fears about being overbearing and overprotective and overnurturing, you need to work on that. Right now, you're being overprotective and overbearing in regards to your wish fulfillment. So the next step is to release anything, because overprotection is just, it is just indicating to you that that fear that we started off with, that you need to distract yourself with, that fear is present. So when you're overprotective, take a step back and think about it and be like, okay, I must be overprotective right now because I fear that I'm not going to get that. So I need to distract myself by working on this thing that will bring me wish fulfillment, just working on it without expectation or attachment to outcome. Divine masculine, you are getting the Queen of Pentacles energy and the Three of Swords in reverse. So your next step is towards the specific iteration of your Queen of Swords, not Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, your divine feminine energy, the one, and end the heartache that you have with her. And there is also this releasing of a third party. We saw all over the place here that there is a past energy, a past marriage, something. So there is the next step is to completely release that so that you can heal the heartache with your specific divine feminine. All right, I pulled inner strength cards for each side. So this is going to be our version of the oracles portion. So there are 2 more positions we're going to look at, and then I pulled oracles for each of those positions. The first one is inner strength. So we'll look at divine feminine first. What will give you the inner strength right now, divine feminine, is, wow, Judgment in reverse. You're getting this again. And the Nine of Wands in reverse. So what Where will your inner strength come from? Well, it comes from this releasing of harsh criticism of the self and the isolation that you've been in to do this healing. It's like shifting out of this. Your inner strength came from these experiences. So you're going to be able to survive this because of this work that you've done, because of your resilience. So being very awakened and very resilient. These are your inner strengths. Oneness is your true nature. Embracing that's a huge strength. And trusting the niggling feeling, okay? The niggling feeling, which when we look at your niggling feeling today, it's this Queen of Pentacles energy in reverse. So your niggling feeling is, I need to release my overbearing, overprotecting, overnurturing energy. I need to redirect those strengths where they belong, to appropriate places in my life, right? So that is your niggling feeling. That next step is to not be so overbearing, because that's just about your fear, which we started with. Divine Masculine, your inner strength comes from Justice in reverse and the Ace of Cups. So your inner strength is going to come from your ability to accept justice as a balancing of the scales. So your karma is an inner strength for you. The things that have happened to you that have been very unfair, those are actually an inner strength that have prepared you for your next steps. Your Ace of Cups is filled because you have been focusing on loving self, filling up your own cup, taking care of the self, understanding that that is the only way that you'll be able to present a healthy version of yourself to someone that you want to be with. So your inner strength is that you have taken the time to fill this cup up, and that the injustices that have been done, there will be karmic retribution for you. So it's actually what you feel is unfair, it's a superpower. I honor what I want to feel. This is a big strength. If you honor what you don't want to feel, then you're getting that. So when you feel not great, if you repeat this affirmation to yourself and shift into honoring how you want to feel, then you will choose thoughts that are going to help you to feel better, which is going to be able to help you take these next steps. So this inner strength of yours is honoring how you want to feel, sharing your voice, and coming out of the cave. Persecution and expression. Look, there is something unfair here, but it's a strength for you. The persecution that you experience for this self-expression, it is your strength. And then finally, I pulled Guardians for the 8th position, which is outside help or advisor. So Divine Feminine. You're getting the King of Cups again in reverse. And the Queen of Wands. And then you're getting Christ and Chameleon Spirit. So for the King of Cups in reverse, and the fact that you had this useful experience, useful past experience, which involved this King of Cups in reverse, this is your guardian right now. Whoever this was, this King of Cups that was matched with a Judgment card in reverse. This is who you can seek outside help from or advice from. There's also this Queen of Wands energy, which, you know what? That's you. So within you, your vision, your own vision of what it is that you want, that's your help. Constantly going back within to that divine feminine inspiration and vision and seeking that clarity for what it is that you want to manifest. That is your help. So, also not being too controlling of your emotions, letting your emotions flow, letting your vision be fully realized. There could be a divine feminine energy that might be a good advisor to you at this point, too. A Queen of Wands, someone in your life who you consider a Queen of Wands. I'm actually thinking this might be my friend, Kylie. So, um, whoever fits that bill for you, that will be a helpful guardian to you at this time. And then you're getting Christ, honey. So this is miracles. This is a miraculous type of a guardian. And if you don't have a relationship with Christ, if it's outside of your modality or your practice, hey Kylie, it was you. What advice you got for me, girl? um, but if Christ is not a part of your modality or practice, that's okay. You don't have to pray to Christ or have a relationship with Christ, although he's a pretty great dude. You might want to get to know him. But it's the energy of the resurrection, rebirth, the savior. So any type of a belief system that has this sort of a resurrected or a savior figure, Krishna, there's so many. But that kind of energy, which is about rebirth, that is who is your best outside help right now. And it's a miracle worker. And then finally, we're getting Chameleon Spirit is guarding you right now. So let's take a look at Chameleon Spirit. Do y'all like this style of reading? I think this is kind of neat to do it this way. You're getting act as if. So, this guardian is here to share her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co create your greatest dream, which was your fear, right? That you couldn't have your dream. And you know what's really interesting? Your fear was that you couldn't manifest the dream. But the Magician is a card about co creation. So this is preparing you to co-create. You're right. You can't do this dream on your own. You can't. That's what Christ is for. That's what these guardians are for. Feeling sensitive? Good. Because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity, which is very important to you, and your equilibrium, which you're feeling a little out of sorts about, right? Even if you feel like you're in uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting as necessary. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do until the ways feel familiar and completely natural. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself, it's about learning how to dance with others. All right, Divine Masculine, let's look at your guardians. You are getting interesting. So for your outside help or spiritual advisor, you're getting the Nine of Cups, the Ace of Wands in reverse. That's almost all the aces for you in reverse, buddy. St. Francis of Assisi and Antelope Spirit. So let's dig in. For you, Divine Masculine, I'm fairly certain that your wish fulfillment is this divine feminine energy. And it's interesting that her outside helper advisor was this past King of Cups, and your outside helper advisor looks to be like this, like you wish it was this divine feminine energy. And it's paired with this Ace of Wands, which is got a feeling of a suppression of some kind of an energy. So what would help you right now, your advice isn't so much individuals in your life to turn to or to rely on, although divine feminine is always this outside help for you, an advisor, I guess. But what would help for you is to shift out of an energy where you are denying yourself what your heart truly desires. The best, I guess, really, I'm your outside help or advisor right now. And my hope and advice to you is to really, really, really embrace that inner strength that we just looked at that says, I honor how I want to feel. This is how you want to feel, divine masculine, right? So, your best outside help or advice is to honor the way that you feel. And the way that you feel is that divine feminine is your best outside help. So, instead of suppressing this desire, being afraid of that energy, head towards that energy, right? And I think that's emphasized by these next cards because look at animals is a card about unconditional love and it's a card about companionship. Your best outside advice and help is your companion. You also might have companion animals around you right now. They might be just comforting to you. St. Francis of Assisi is a protector and a guardian of this companion energy, this loyal energy. So, this loyalty and devotion that you receive from Divine Feminine is your best outside help. It's not what I expected to see, but that is what it says. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last card, which is this Antelope Spirit for you. And this is life is speeding up. When Antelope Spirit rushes into your life, you're being reminded of the quickening of your personal evolution as a powerful co-creator. And Divine Feminine needs a co-creator. You're being told unequivocally. Let me read that to you again. You are being told unequivocally, which is a fantastic word, that means you can't fucking argue with it. That it's time to get moving. Set your intentions and take action toward making your dreams real. There is an intensity you can feel, and it is important to take advantage of this energy right now. If you have a plan for your career or financial abundance, now is the time to step it up. If you are asking about a relationship, make that first move. Just know that the intentions you have set in motion are coming together now at warp speed. Stay alert and keep up. Things are getting interesting when Antelope Spirit calls you to move quickly. So you're supported and protected in this energy because the spirit is here with you. I'm seeing your comments right now. Thanks, Lena, for responding, but welcome. Thank you for saying I'm sweet. And if you would like personal readings, please hit me up at tunedintarot@gmail. It is a pay what you want type of a deal. I do have a suggested donation, and then we meet somewhere in the middle. That works comfortably for you. Otherwise, you can see me every single day doing these readings. And on Sundays at noon with Grace Striga. All right, I did pull the bottom of the deck for all the oracles because I usually do, and why not? And so we're just going to look at the things that you are in union in regards to. This is a big one. The key to prayer is to forget what you think you need, which is what Divine Feminine started off with, right? Releasing attachment to outcome. Forgetting what she thinks she needs is part of releasing attachment to outcome. She's also looking at shifting where she lives, moving and stuff like that. But the ultimate meaning of a Four of Pentacles, especially in reverse, is releasing attachments. And when you're releasing attachments, there's things that you think that you know, right? That you need, think that you need. But release that, forget about it. You actually don't know what you need. You asked for something, and your higher self or God or whatever you want to call that energy knows what the fuck you asked for. Pretty clear on it. Turns out they're pretty good at that job. And they know that what you asked them for, because they know no exclusion is the essence of the thing. And you might have filled it full of all of these details. And the details were useful to you because they helped you hold a vision. They got you excited. They put you into this energy where you were looking forward to having this thing that you wanted to have. But Your higher self doesn't know the details really. It doesn't need the details. It knows the essence, and it's going to give you the essence of what you desire. So if you're very foggy or unclear about it, it's very difficult. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to do a specific reading today for clarity and direction. It's like, sure, we can think the things and we can feel the things, but what the fuck are we supposed to do with these things, right? You're also getting this card of deep replenishment, retreating, resting, and being held. And it's in reverse because, honey, baby, sweetie, both of you, y'all got to come out of retreat now. You don't want to be in retreat. The clarity that you have is your fear that you can't have the thing that you want, thing that you desire. There's one way to guarantee that that will be true. You absolutely will not have what you desire if you continue to retreat from it. You've had deep replenishment. You've been held, you've been cradled, you've been nurtured, you've been protected. So come out of this retreat. Here's my favorite. This is the Archangel Raphael, who is my personal saint that I have a devotion to. This is a card about healthful eating, but it's a card about nourishing the self. It's also about twin flame energy because Archangel Raphael is associated with twin flame and soulmate and bringing people together type of an energy. And there's a call here that you might not be taking care of yourself so well. Like you might have both kind of become a little bit distracted. And we saw that your fears and distractions, your obsessions, so you want to remember to take care of yourself. I'm having a really hard time feeding myself, which is not a problem I usually have, but it is. I don't know. I don't want food. And I'm just like not interested. And I'm just trying to like do really easy things like smoothies or, just if I don't really care, just make a big salad or something, or just have a peanut butter sandwich. Like I'm just trying to eat, but I don't really care about it. And it's not like I've never had a problem with anorexia. So that's not been my problem. I had non-purging bulimia, which does have periods of fasting, but it's because you just binge and you feel sick and you don't feel like eating. So it's not quite the same thing. There is elements of trying to control your eating, like punish yourself. It's not that. It's not anything like that I've experienced. It's pretty much just like disinterest. So if that is happening, if you're not really taking care of yourself, if you're distracted, if you're, and part of it is I'm working a lot. And I started working yesterday at 5:30 in the morning and I really didn't stop until midnight. And it's part of that. So it's like, make sure you're in balance. Make sure you're really, really, really caring for yourself. And then finally, we're getting Hummingbird Spirit. Be here now, right now, in this moment together. And you're getting the protection message. From the Colette Baron Reed deck, which is nectar is everywhere. But Hummingbird Spirit is here to remind you that flying from flower to flower and being all over the place wastes precious energy. Be still. Be here now, in the present moment, enjoying the sweetness and sustenance available to you. Focus on one flower today, just one. Nectar is there for you, and the Hummingbird Spirit's message is that wherever you put your attention, that there your energy flows. Are you focused on the sweetness or on finding something better somewhere else, always yearning and feeling that life is not enough and you are not enough? All you seek is right here, right now. Appreciate the present, and you will see that you are where you need to be and enjoying what you are entitled to enjoy in this timeless and perfect moment. So, what were you called to focus on right now by spirit, divine feminine? Work and delegating your tasks to create this thing that you are wanting to create, unburdening yourself and not giving up. And divine masculine, releasing your fears and anxieties about commitment issues and ending this painful separation. That is your one focus. Divine feminine, one focus today. Work, unburden, delegate, right? Work. Whatever project you're working on, whatever thing you're trying to create, Focus on that one thing today. Don't worry about what divine masculine's doing. Don't worry about whether he's doing what he's supposed to focus on. Don't worry about, whether what you're going to do tomorrow. Just just work on this project that you're working on, this thing that you're working on, your self-care, your self-work, grounding, and getting that outside help. So you are called to talk to some people today. Call those people that you, if you can, speak to them, unburden yourself and say, hey, I need help. Can you help me? I need help with my work. That's your one focus today. And divine masculine and the separation today. Face this fear of this commitment issue and move forward. One focus, nothing else. There was no job in there. There was no career. There was no, how you're going to do it. It was literally just release your fear about it and end the separation. That's it. I was going to pull cards to close out the reading to tell you what to do, but I think that pretty much summed it up for us today. So I'm going to close the reading out here at 1 hour, which is a miracle. Thank you so much for being here with me today. Please like and subscribe and share. It really helps my channel to grow. This is one of the ways I support myself as a musician. So if you are interested in helping me out, please click the description box below, and there are options to join my Patreon where you will receive additional content. And like I said, it's a pretty cool little community. I'm going to be starting to get more active in some of my posts on there as well, because I think I'm just getting sick of Instagram, like it just doesn't feel like I get to see what I want to see. So I'm going to start using that even more. So if you're interested in content from me, please check that out. There's also a way to send me cards if you want to see more imagery, different images, or if you have a favorite deck that you might find on the list of decks I'm calling in, please feel free to send me one of those too. I love to get the opportunity to share those readings from all the different cards with everyone. So thank you so very much. I will see you here tomorrow morning, probably a little bit earlier than this because I typically don't start this late, but I will be here nonetheless. And then on Sunday, I'll be over on Instagram with Grace Strega at 12 p.m. And if you don't already follow her, please go do. She is an incredible reader. And if you want to ask us questions live on Sunday, I do respond to questions for the last half of the reading. We pull cards for you right on the spot, and you get 2 powerful readers for the price of 1, which is also free. So enjoy that. I shall see you tomorrow morning. Otherwise, have a lovely day today and take care, everybody.